Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Thursday, October 8th, 2020. We are again in the final hour of the trading day. I mention this each day, but it really is a core component of my trading. I like to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions at the end of the day, in the last hour, and in particular, the last few minutes of the day. The day traders and the algorithms, they are the ones that are controlling the price during the day. At the end of the day, you start to see the price move very often, not always, but more often than not, you see the price move. And that is because the large financial institutions are coming in. They are taking control away of the price from the day traders and the algorithms, and they are able to take control away from the day traders and the algorithms because they are dealing with the most money, and they are trading in large sizes. So I consider them to be the best group, the best knowledgeable group, the most well-capitalized group with the best information, best technology. And so I like to make my buying and selling decisions based upon what the smart money is doing. I say smart money in quotes, but they are the most informed, I believe. And so I think there's an edge. I believe there's an edge. In my experience, there's been an edge in following the large financial institutions at the end of the day. So thank you all for coming today. I really do appreciate it. It's great to see everyone. I appreciate you spending your time here, investing your time. And I hope that by doing so, it's helping you with your trading and your investing. So let's take a look. What is the market doing today? The Dow Jones is currently up 71 points, up 0.25%. The NASDAQ is up 38 points, up 0.33, and the S&P is up 22 points. So Dow Jones right now up 66, NASDAQ up 36, S&P up 21. We were higher earlier. We are off of our highs, but at least we're green across the board. So, all right, listen, here's the plan for today. As usual, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them moving forward. I have had some day trades today. I'm going to share those with you. After that, we're going to go over the board and take a look at your current positions on there. I see some of them are doing pretty well today, so we'll go through each one and see how those are doing. After that, I'm going to talk about trader psychology, get away from charts and indicators, entries, exits, and talk about the real skill in trading, the skill that you have to really develop and hone over time, and that is the discipline, or that is the skill of discipline. That is creating a plan, following your plan. Trading psychology is such a huge part of trading success. So my advice would be spend more time in a contemplative mode, thinking about how you're trading, when you're trading well, when you're not trading well, and why that is, monitoring your emotions. It's very important. It's the most important part of trading. Everybody hears people say that, but I think at some point in your trading career, it will sink in and you'll go, yes, that is. And so that is why I like to touch on that every day. After that, I've gone down through my watch list today. I have gone down through the results of Kamal's scanner. I have 3 requirements whenever I look to enter a trade. The first requirement is I need to look for a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up on multiple time frames. Ideally, I like to look for indicators such as MACD and RSI, moving averages, V1, V2 triggers, ATR channels. These are indicators. I look at these as groups of buyers, and you're going to put yourself in the best position, increase your chances dramatically to have a profitable trade if you're in the company with as many other buyers as possible. If we think about it the opposite way, if you're the only buyer and everyone else is selling, you're going to have a really hard time making a profit on a trade. So I look for a confluence or combination of indicators so that I'm in the company with as many other buyers as possible. So that's requirement number 1. Requirement number 2, I have to have a good risk to reward. I can have a great setup. I can have a great confluence of indicators, but if I don't have a good risk to reward ratio, I'm going to have to pass on the trade. That's the thing. Everything is about risk to reward, getting, buying as close as you can to your end of day stop. So if you're wrong small. And if you're right, you have the ability to make 2, 3, 4 times to the upside based upon what you were risking. So that's very key, important part. And then lastly, please every day, take a few seconds, take a few minutes, take an hour if you need to, but take a look at your positions. How correlated are they? How much account heat do you have? Meaning how much of your total capital is at risk? In my ideal world, every position I have would be in a different industry, and every trading strategy that I was using, every setup that I was using would be a different one. That's hard to get that to happen, but please keep in mind, don't have too many correlated positions. Don't have too much account heat. It's great when it's going up, but if it's not going up anymore, it's going down, you're really going to get hurt. And the way to make money in this game is to focus on risk, concentrate on risk, give all your attention to risk. And if you do, and you keep those losses small, the profits will come kind of by themselves. But if you only focus on profits and don't think about risk, that's when you're going to get into trouble. All right, so we're going to go down through the watch list. I'm going to narrow down the watch list, and I'm going to try to find the very best one that fits those criteria, those 3 criteria near the end of the day. If I find one, I'll go ahead and place the trade before the market closes. After the market closes, if anybody has any questions, please let me know. If you need clarification on anything, please let me know. If you have any stock symbols that you would like me to look at before the market closes, go ahead, put them in the chat, put an asterisk by so I know it's time sensitive, and I will do my best to get to them before the close of the market. And then lastly, if you have any new entries or exits today, if you could please wait till after the market closes so that I'm done teaching, I'm done trading, pressure's off, market's closed, and then I'll spend all the time we need to get those updated. Okay, so that's the plan for today. Hang tight. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, let's take a look and see who's here. Dan is here. Hi, Greg and Gossett Group. Hi, Dan. Good to see you, my friend. Johan is here. Hello, sir. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good evening. Thanks for coming. Zach, hey, buddy, what's going on? Good to see you, Zach. Hope you're having a good day. David is also here. Hi, David and Group. Hope you're doing well, sir. Frank is here. Hello, Poet Frank. Good to hear from you as always. Evan, good afternoon. Hello, Evan. Kamal says, hey, Greg and gang, go Cody, up 33% over entry. I know, I'm never going to doubt Cody again. It's unbelievable. We'll get to that when we go over your trades that are up on the board. Steve Burns is here. Hello, sir. Always nice to have you here. Always an honor and a privilege, Steve, to have you here. Really is. I'm always excited to see you. I know everyone else is. Just to be able to hang out and chat with Steve is a big deal. So thank you. I really appreciate that. And Steve says, glad to see bulls back. They are back a little bit today for sure. Gary says, hey, Greg and Group, great trade on Cody to all that bought it. 100%. Mark is here. Hey, Mark, good to see you. Good afternoon. Frank has a poem for us. Oh, I like the first 2 words. Let's see. Sorry, 1 second. All right, let's see what Frank wrote. Trade less, make more is a rule you can't ignore. It's natural to want to trade more, but it depends on what the market has in store. Those rules are at our core who needs to trade when they can't really score? So true. Trading just for trading's sake doesn't make sense. In other industries, business, sports, we always feel like we need to work hard and always doing something. The reality with trading is that you're better off doing it less than more, just waiting for more quality setups and then trade perfectly, follow that plan. But 100% trading for trading's sake it's just going to wear you out, and more than likely you're going to lose money. Let's read it one more time. Trade less, make more is a rule you can't ignore. It's natural to want to trade more, but it depends on what the market has in store. The rules are at our core. Who really needs to trade when you can't really score? I mean, what podcast do you get poems like that on? I don't know. I don't know of any. I'll bet there's not a trading channel out there that has poems. I couldn't imagine there would be, and I'm just feel really lucky that Frank is here and does that for us each day. Thank you, sir. Thank you as always. All right, well, let's take a look at the trades here. I did buy Goldman Sachs back on the 2nd of October at 199.94 with a 520 crossover. So far, it's gone great. It's just gone up and up. I've taken some profits. I did hit a profit target today here at 206.13. I have another profit up here at 208.66. So who knows? It's possible if we have a late day surge. But so far, entry to current closing price up 3.62%. So I'm very happy with that trade. Coca-Cola. All right. Gary, Kamal, Frank, Johan, Yas, and myself, we did take this trade on Coca-Cola yesterday, thankfully. I bought it here at 49.63. We closed below the -1 ATR channel. We came into the value zone. We had a lot of nice sideways movement. We had a nice V2. Looks like we had a 520 crossover. I bought here at 49.63. It is up 1.65% today. I did hit one profit target today at 49.99 and very, very close to that second profit at 50.42. It is $50.37. So I have a limit order in for that right now. Hopefully it will take. It's always nice to hit two profit targets. Oops. No, that's not right. Let me measure from the real entry. So far this trade is up about 1.49% in one day. It's pretty good. So congratulations, everybody. And hopefully we'll get that second profit target at 50.42. It's only 4 cents away. SPY. All right, everybody's favorite time of the day. You know I love talking about the SPY trade. Actually, I don't, because I do it every single day, but in case we have some new viewers, I'm going to do it. I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. I sell it first thing the next morning. I do this based upon a long-term back-tested study from Liz Ann Saunders. She's at Bespoke Invest on Twitter. Since 1993, they tested two approaches. Approach number one, buy the SPY at the open, hold it through the day, sell it at the close. If you did this every day since 1993, you'd return a negative 13.9% return. However, if you do the opposite approach, this is the one that I use, buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk, sell it first thing the next morning. This approach returned a positive 634.2% return. So big difference between positive 634.2 and negative 13.9. And the only difference is when you buy it and when you sell it. Past performance and no guarantee of future results. It does not mean this is going to work in the future. But if I'm going to allocate money towards a trade, it's going to be something that has good back-tested results. Blue line, buy the close, sell the next morning. Orange line, buy the open, sell the same day close. You can see it's not even close. The blue line over time, all it has done is gone up, but there are significant drawdowns. I've been through these. It's not fun. So if you're considering using this approach, use a conservative position size. I think a good starting out point would be only 5% of your capital. So if you had $100,000, you would take $5,000, which is 5%, buy $5,000 worth at nighttime, sell it in the morning. But again, that's only if you had $100,000, right? Like use 5%. 5% of whatever you have, I think, is a good conservative approach. But of course, this does not mean it's going to work in the future. It has worked in the past, but that doesn't guarantee anything, right? So, had a nice overnight SPY trade, that's for sure. I bought the SPY at 340.76. At the close yesterday, I sold it at the open at 342.88. So bought at 340.76, sold for over $2 profit on the open at 342.88. Of course, I will be buying this again today. Apple, no day trades on Apple for me today. Can you believe it? I do have a position. I do have a bullish position in Apple. I sold puts down to $77.50. Currently, we're at $114.96, meaning that if the price closes above the $77.50 by November 20th, I will be able to keep all of the premium. I picked the $77.50 price because on the daily, we have support at the 200 and the 250. On the weekly, I have support of the negative third ATR channel and the 50 above. And on the monthly, I have support of the 1 ATR channel and the 20-month moving average. Whenever I sell premium, whenever I sell puts, I want to have a confluence of support on multiple time frames, and that's how I decide on what my strike price is. So this is well in the money. Of course, when you're selling puts, you really don't care if it goes up too much or down too much. You just don't want it to go way down to your strike price. And this is just moving sideways, which is just perfect for selling puts because it eats up the time decay. I'm on the good side of the time decay when you're selling puts. Apple's down 14 cents today. It was up earlier. I always forget this, so I'm going to do it right now. Quad and Frank and Gary all have Apple. Frank bought Apple. He's in at 111. It's at 114.95, so almost $5 in the money. Quad and Gary bought Apple at 116.31 with the 520 cross, and they are slightly down on the trade. All right, Qs. I do have a trade on the Qs. However, this chart is a hot mess with the day trade, so I'm going to show you the day trade first. This was a frustrating trade, but it's a good teaching. It's a good teaching situation as far as how I get in and how I get out of stuff. This is on the 5-minute. I bought the Qs here at 281.31 with the 520 crossover. It moved up initially beautifully for me. It did not get to my trailing stop level. Then it came back down. We had a big down bar. It closed below both the 5 and the 20. When that happens, I get out of half of the position, not the full position. I wait to get out of the other half, waiting for the 5 to actually close under the 20. So I got in here at 281.31. I had to sell half of my position for a loss at 280.70, but then it rallied like a champion of champions. It got to my ATR 1.5 ATR stop level. Here we have a close below the previous day's low. So I did sell half here. So follow along. I got in at 281.31. I sold half at 280.70 for a loss, but I sold the other half for a profit at 281.74. I still kept half the position and just moved sideways and then came back down to my entry where I got out at break even. So I sold half down here for a profit. I sold half down here for a loss, part up here for a profit, and the last portion was break even. So I think I was probably net very small, a loser on that trade, but kind of an interesting setup, and it was a good example, a good teaching example. So let me get rid of all these lines. I'm sure it's difficult for everybody to see this when I have all these day trades in here, so sorry about that. Let me just get rid of these and clean this up. All right, will this do it? Yes, all right. So Now, I just showed you the 520 crossover intraday. I had the exact same trade on the 520 EMA on the daily. I got in here with the 520 EMA cross at 277.80, moved up, then came back down, closed below both the 5 and the 20, so I got out of half for a loss. But just like on the day trade, it continued up, continued up, continued up. And I did hit one profit target today right near the high at 281.74. So I have gotten out a half because the price closed below both the 5 and the 20. And now the rest of the half that I have, if the 5 actually closes under the 20, I'll get out. Or if it moves up to higher levels, I'll get out. Anyway, so far, you know, it is profitable barely. It is profitable barely. So I'm okay with that. And then gold. Interesting trades on gold today. Trading was tough. Day trading was tough for me earlier in the day, and I'll show you why. Here we go. This is on the 5-minute on gold. We were below the -1 ATR channel. We came back into the value zone. Here I entered with a higher low V2 in the value zone, 177.39. Well, it moved up originally, looked good, just going sideways, going sideways. Then on this bar here, you know, when you have a V1 or a V2, it should take off pretty quickly for you. And it wasn't taking off, which was concerning. So I did sell gold here for a loss. I got in at 177.39. I got out at 177.33. So I only lost 6 cents on it, but because we closed below the 50, we closed below the previous day's low. Hey, there's Coca-Cola. Nice. So I did take a loss there, but the more important part was by getting out there, I missed this entire big down move. But then, and you know, you never know when this is going to happen, but this was here. So I got out here. I avoided all this nonsense. Here I bought gold. Here we went under 30, over 30, but I didn't think it was enough on the 5-minute. Here we again went under 30 and back over 30 with the V1. I was not expecting it to do this, but obviously I was happy. I bought it at 176.77, and I'm not sure what happened, news or whatever, but look at this big move. And after this big climax bar here, I just got out. I was like, listen, I'm way happy with that. As it turns out, you know, I could have got a little bit higher, but I got in here at 176.77, and I got out at 177.48. So not quite a dollar. But that happened in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and I was not expecting that, but I was really happy that I got it. So all in all today, pretty good day trading today, but like a lot of trades, mainly because of this trade here. The others were losers. Okay, I think that's it, right? So I just heard the ding on Coca-Cola, so that means we hit another profit target. And that means I need to switch over to this account over here and do this one manually because that was not in the system. Hey, if you ever want to have fun, do a podcast, teach for an hour and a half, and trade 2 different accounts all at the same time. That's basically what I do every day. All right. All right, there's the second profit target there. So all in all, man, just a great day. Yesterday was fantastic. Today was fantastic. Kamal says, nice, Frank. Dan says, clapping for Frank. Thanks, Kamal. Thanks, Dan. Good afternoon, Greg and Group. Hey, Quad, what's going on? I sure hope you tell me that you still have Cody. Steve says, Amazon, very close to a 1030-day EMA crossover. Oh, well, let's take a look at that one. I'm so glad that Steve points these out to me. Let's take a look here. 1030 EMA cross on Amazon. All right, well, let me put this down here so that I have Okay, Kamal, I see those. I have a lot of those on my list. So when we get to going through, I'll take a look at those. Miko is here. Good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Steve says IWM 1030 SMA 1050 day crossover, but close to the 68 RSI here and rejected intra close to the 70, so no trade. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, it's a little up there. Cody says Cody waiting for the 70 RSI. Okay, let's get oh, wrong. Now let's take a look at everybody's trades here. Johan did buy Dexcom yesterday at 393.10. It is down 1.24% today, so it is down on the trade and down on the day. He bought this with the double bottom with the bullish divergence. So yeah, so far down. QLD, Steve bought QLD with the 530 EMA crossover. That's a different chart, but he bought it yesterday at 92.95. It is now 93.60. So it is up today 0.86%. Very nice, Steve. IWB, another great trade from Steve. He bought at 191.18. It is currently 192.56, up 0.85%. So up on the day. Nice start to the trade. Walmart, Brian bought Walmart back here at 140.69. It is currently 141.65. So nice, Brian, up on the day, up on the trade. AQN, Glenn / Mark bought it yesterday at 15.29. It is at 15.56, up 15 cents, up 0.97% today. So that's great. Steve just told us about the overnight SPY trade, the 1030 EMA cross for a potential entry today. Amazon is down $3.19 today. It's down 0.11%. Glenn did buy it. I don't know 100% if he bought it back here exactly at 291, but I know he bought it in this area. So if he did, obviously up on the trade, but a little bit down on the day. Google, Gary is in Google. He sold puts down to 1200. It is now 1486.66. So he has protection from 1486.48 all the way down to 1200. If it does not get down to 1200, he'll keep all the premium on the put spreads that he sold. So very nice, definitely up on the trade, 100%, and up on the day as well. Frank bought LVGO back here at 132.50. Next day it went down. He sold half, but he kept the other half. That's why I like the 50-50. I like selling half if it doesn't look so great, and good thing that he did because that other half rallied up nicely. It is down 1.18% today, but he is still up on the trade for sure, both on the first half that he sold and the second half that he sold. Chewy having a good day. Quad bought Chewy back here at 58.92. It is at 58.89. So looks like we're back right to about even, although it is up 3.24% today. So nice comeback there, Quad. CRM, who is this? Brian bought CRM at 251.20. It is now 260.44. Up on the day, up on the trade. Very nice, Brian. Alibaba, Johan, beautiful trade here. Bought Alibaba at 276.70. It is now 301.38, up 1.65% just today. And this trade from entry to current close is up 8.3%. That's a big one. So congratulations, Johan. Cody, okay, well, this is the stock of all stocks. A bunch of you were in it. I know a bunch of you made money. David and Quad held into this. I'm so glad. Look at this trade. It is up 14% just today from entry to current close, up 24.47% in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So congratulations, Dave and Quad, for hanging in there on that trade. Boy, that's a monster. That is a monster. And thanks to Kamal for, having this show up on the scanner. Under 30, over 30, back over the 5-day moving average, and it has just gone monster. But this is, this is looking like a little bit of a climax bar here. So, don't be a little shy in locking a little of this in. This is a 24% gain. So, in my opinion, of course, I'm not telling you what to do, but I just think it'd be good practice to take a little bit of this monster gain off and lock that baby in. Intel, Gary also sold puts on Intel. Intel is up 1.1% today. Boy, Intel's been a monster lately. Gary sold puts on Intel down to $45. It is $53. So as long as it stays above $45 by November 20th, Gary will be able to keep all the premium. Gary's had some fantastic option trades lately where he sold premium. Look at Coca-Cola go. Holy camole. Fantastic. And Cody's making a new high. Unbelievable, 14.71%. I'm sure there's a lot of shorts being squeezed in there. All right. So listen, I'm going to go down through the watch list, going to take a look at the results of the scanner, looking for those 3 requirements. Number 1, confluence combination of indicators, ideally on multiple time frames. Number 2, good risk to reward ratio, at least 2 to 1. And number 3, always keep in mind how many positions you have, how much account heat you have, how much correlated positions you have. So we're going to go down through that. But before, I just want to talk a little bit about trader psychology. Before we get to that, there's some really great Facebook, Twitter channels out there that provide great information for us. It's free. If we would just read it, internalize it every day, it's free and it's worth a fortune if you just read these things, and not just read them, but really internalize them, right? This is from our friend Thomas Paine. I talk about Thomas Paine's post very often. He's at @TraderTPaine on Twitter. I really like this channel. Thomas switched careers. He was a scientist. He switched careers to become a trader, and he brought that scientific method from being a scientist into trading, which is a great story. And he really gets into the small, fine details of trader psychology. I mean, when you read his post, most of them are about the importance of trader psychology. So he knows. So let's see what he says. When asked how well they have been trading lately, amateurs talk about their profits and losses. Pros talk about their process. Isn't that something? Think about that. Amateurs talk about their profits and losses. Pros talk about their process. And why do you think that is? Because pros know that the process is the important part. It's not really how much you're winning or losing at the moment. It's your wins and losses are going to be determined about how well you follow your process, or in other words, how well you follow your plan. So, think about that. Create a decent plan. Doesn't have to be the most complicated trade in the world or setup in the world. Just giving yourself a good risk to reward ratio, getting out quick when you're wrong, letting profits run up to a certain point when you're right. That's the key. That's the process. So amateurs talk about their profits and losses. Pros talk about their process. Focus on your process, everybody. Focus on your process. Focus on your process. Look out for risk. Be quick to get out. And if you do that, the profits will take care of themselves. So thank you, Thomas Paine. Always appreciate that, sir. Hope you're having a good day if you listen to this. Okay. Hey, look at this. My new boots showed up today from Amazon. I don't buy a lot of things. I'm pretty Spartan. Well, that's not true. I did buy one piece of clothing about 2 weeks ago, but before that, I don't think I'd bought a piece of clothing in 2 or 3 years, because all I do is hike around the mountains. But when it comes to shoes and boots, I don't skimp. And I got these new bad boys yesterday. These are going to be my wintertime boots. They're waterproof and they're really good hiking boots, but expensive boots. But I hike so much that I can't really skimp on those. So I just got those, thought I'd take a picture. Pretty nice though, huh? And hopefully I won't be wearing those for a while. I'm only going to wear those when snow starts. Okay, real quick. Goldman Sachs is narrowing in on that second profit target. Getting pretty close. Coca-Cola did hit the second. Pretty good. Pretty good, up 1.9%. SPY, of course, had the overnight SPY trade, a good one. I'll buy that at the close. Apple puts just hanging out here. That's fine. Qs, one profit target, and then gold. I had the day trade on gold. Okay, I want to look 1030 day SMA. So I made these charts yesterday. $10.30 SMA. So I don't have that one, do I? Bummer. Oh, here's Google with the 1030 SMA. Oh, 1030 EMA. Oh, here we go. $10.30 EMA, right, Steve? Right now it is 31.53, 31.54. So okay, I'll have to watch that one. 1030 EMA crossover. Okay, so I'll be watching that. All right. Workhorse. Well, Workhorse did trigger a V1 earlier in the day, so it has untriggered. So I'm going to put that one over here in the disregard pile. I do kind of like Facebook here. We have a false breakout to the downside from the low of this range. We have a V2. We did gap a little bit. When we came back, we filled it. We are closing over 50 RSI. MACD is positive. We do have the 50-day above us, but it doesn't mean it's rejected yet. We do not have a 520 crossover yet, but if we go up tomorrow, very likely we would have a crossover, which if I buy it today with this valid signal, false breakout to the downside plus a V2, might get another little push when the 520 boys come into town. Also, another good back-tested approach on Facebook is the 1050 is also a good back-tested approach. This one is not that close to triggering, but I did test Facebook earlier, and the 520 does test positively, not as well as the 1050 SMA, but it does still test positively. And I'm not front running the crossover because this is a valid signal here. It is up 2.24% today, so it is up much larger than the Q, so the relative strength is pretty good. My stop would be a halfway of the washout bar. Yesterday was the washout bar, so if I bought it here, it closed below halfway of the washout bar, right about there, I would get out. However, if we got a 520 crossover, I would switch from this false breakout V2 into a 520 crossover. You know, my students out there know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you'll take a V1, V2 and it will go your way, and then you'll get the moving average crossover, and then you kind of morph from the first trade into the second trade. So Facebook is one of my favorites today. NTES, okay, it's a V1, but you have to be careful with these kind of trades. You see how we have the previous low over here? Do you see how we've had to go quite a long ways down right back up to it? So the move might be already done. And you can see how the price here just exactly stopped when it hit that resistance. So yes, it's a V1, but these are the kind that you have to, I like when the false breakout low is closer to where you're at, kind of like it forms a ledge. This seems to me that it's a bounce, so I'm going to let that one go. USO doing very well, has a 520 crossover. I'm not sure that back test well. Let me do it real quick. Nope, it does not backtest well. It backtests negatively. So not interested in USO. Micron has a pretty strong close above the 200. Let me backtest this real quick with the break above the 200 and see if this backtests well. Boy, it sure does. It backtests very nicely. Here, let me show you real quick. This is from etfreplay.com. I am using this by permission, everybody, or Google, so that you know. Here we have a close back above the 200-day moving average. So does that mean we just go ahead and buy? Well, let's take a look at the results. Here's Micron based upon the 200-day moving average, the simple day of the cross, run the back test. It returns 551.9%. Let me do some, where buy and hold only returned 55.7. Drawdown was significant, 80.6, but drawdown on Micron was 98.2%. Can you imagine? Let me just quickly do the math on this then. Okay. So yeah, this does backtest well. This is a pretty strong break above the 200-day moving average. So that is definitely in the running. MCK has a 520 crossover. I think I tried to backtest this earlier. Wait. MCK, right? MCK. ETF chosen is not available. Let's see. Is that? Yeah. So I don't know about that one. So because I don't know, I'm not gonna take the trade. I mean, it's a nice big bullish bar for sure. It does have a crossover, but because I don't know, I'm gonna let it go. You know, this is quite bearish on Etsy. It's a V1 to the downside. It's a loss of the 70 RSI. Although we are holding the third ATR channel. I was considering shorting this, but with it holding the support of the third ATR channel up underneath it, I'm going to let that one go. Maybe another time. Boy, Chevron, look at Chevron up 2.18%. The oils have been so strong. But listen, I would not buy this here. We have had 1, 2, 3, 4 big days, 5 if you count this day, 5 big days up. Very likely the people that bought down here and bought down here and here, they're going to be looking for any reason to get out here. They're going to be looking for some weakness. And if we do get some weakness, everybody will bail. It will cause the price to come back down. But then I think the smarter move is wait for that to happen. Look for a higher low V1. You know, these lower low trades, they bounce, and this one has bounced fantastically, but bounce trades usually come back down, and then if you can get that higher low could be the start of a new trend up. I mean, this is strong, but I think buying it here is a little chasey. So I want to get into Chevron. I want to get into Exxon in my account, but I'm going to wait for a higher low V1 or V2. So, and then Amazon. Boy, that one is really tight, isn't it? So Amazon is 3154.25 and it's 3154.93. So it has not crossed over yet. So I will be watching that one. So what I have on the list here, and of course I'm not going to buy Amazon and Facebook at the same time. Everybody realizes that, right? So Facebook is strong today. Amazon is not strong, it's down. So I would be looking more towards Facebook than Amazon if I had to choose between the two. Micron, nice big strong close, and that does backtest well. Let's take a look at the weekly. Weekly had a crossover so far. MACD is positive. Okay, I looked at Wing, Kamal. Well, here, I think we have time. Let's see. Wing. I don't see anything on Wing here that looks interesting to me at all, actually. No. Workhorse, we talked about that one. It's untriggered, so no. NDAQ, it's a higher low V2, not bad. Did it reject the 50? Very close, but it's only 244,000 shares, so that's not enough for me. Facebook we talked about. UGL is gold. We do have a V2, day 1, 2, 3. Day 2 washes out day 1, but day 1's bar is too big. It's larger than 1 ATR. It's much too big for me to take a V1 or V2 on UGL. NetEase, I talked about that earlier. These are the kind of trades that you really have to watch out of because it is a big downwards motion. The bar one yesterday was larger than 1 ATR. We have, I guess, closed above the high of that resistance, and so it's a little support below it. But no, I don't really care for that one. GDX, same with gold. This is the gold miners, day 1. Just it's a big down day, and we're stuck right in the half. I think the proper move on gold for those of you wanting to get in gold is I would wait for the 520 crossover on gold or on silver. I think that's the safer way to go. Sprouts Fresh Market. I traded Sprouts. I got in here. I got out there for a loss. I'm not too thrilled about Sprouts Fresh Market. We're above, below the 200. It's not respecting that anymore as a moving average, so it kind of loses interest for me. It's not respecting it anymore. I would take a shot maybe to 30 RSI. Transium Group. A little bit of a higher low V1, but I don't like that big bar, scares me. We're right in the middle of it. Live Nation looks pretty good here. It has a 520 crossover, but I don't know how that backtest. If it backtests well, it would be something to consider. British Petroleum. Well, it went under 30 over 30. Yeah, that one's okay. It's a little lagging the other majors as far as its move up, but Yeah, I mean 35.31 had a V1. We're back over the negative third ATR channel. MACD went positive. Not bad. Not bad at all. And Cinemark Holdings, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's a V2, under 30, over 30, under the negative third, over the negative third. Nothing too much on the weekly, but Cinemark's really not bad, but it's a volatile stock, everybody. It's an $8 stock. Has not been able to move above the 5-day, but from a risk to reward standpoint and a confluence of signals, it's a lot. There's a lot. It's a V2, under 30, over 30, under the negative third, over the negative third. I'm not going to buy that, but look at the volume that has come in here in these last 4 days. That could be a big winner. It could be a big loser, but from a risk to reward standpoint, I mean, you know, you might go back up here. I don't know. I'm not going to buy that, but that is a decent setup. Steve says Goldman Sachs has a new 1030 EMA and 1050 EMA crossover today. Okay, well, good. That's good. Of course, I already have Goldman Sachs, so I would not be entering it, but another 1030 EMA and 1050 EMA crossover here. Let's take a look. How am I doing on time? 8 minutes? Yeah, there's the crossover. There's the 1030, no, 1050 EMA crossover. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But again, I've got the trade already, so I will not be taking that trade. Ahmad, hey Ahmad, how you doing? COF long, closing above 80 and financials are strong. Definitely strong. Definitely strong, Ahmad. You know, for me, the way I trade, this is an area that I cannot get involved in. It's too high. It's above the 1 ATR channel. I generally don't buy above this channel. We have the third ATR channel right above. 92% of prices fail. You can see right when they got there last time they failed. So doesn't mean they're going to this time. But for me, personally, I would wait for a pullback. But again, I already have Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is already a financial, so I couldn't add. But if you're asking me if I would buy this here, I would not buy this here. Doesn't mean it can't go up. It certainly can. But as far as a new entry point, that wouldn't make sense to me. All right, so let's take a look here and narrow it down. Facebook. False breakouts to the downside with the V1. MACD is positive. On the weekly, we are back in the value zone. So, that does make sense to me. Micron has the 520 cross, closed back above the 200-day moving average. That is under 50, over 50 on the RSI. That's all good stuff. And I don't think Amazon is going to do it. Boy, the sideways motion is just making these charts hard to read. It is currently under. I think I'm going to just go ahead. I think I'm going to go with Facebook. There's Micron getting close to a crossover, but it doesn't have it yet. Either of these could be good, but the reason I'm going to go with Facebook is because Facebook is stronger than the rest of the market, although Micron is also. But this is a pretty well-defined risk, and MACD is positive. And on the weekly, we're right back in the value zone. So this seems like a pretty good dip buy situation on the weekly, taking the trade on the daily. Now the 50's right there. If I buy this today and it rejects the 50 tomorrow, I'll get out of half on a closing basis, just like that. Okay, so Goldman Sachs doing outstanding. Coca-Cola is doing outstanding. SPY, of course, I'm buying that at the close. Q's, I did hit the one profit target there. And again, GLD, I'm waiting for the 520 crossover. So for me, it looks like Facebook today. Ahmad says, sounds great. Thank you. I'm a new follower and I appreciate your insight. Oh, you're welcome. And thank you so much for coming. If you ever have any questions, Ahmad, you just please let me know. But I'm always cautious when I see stocks that have run up so far, like COF did. I'm more of a mean reversion buyer when they buy that dip. Right now, it's in a pure momentum stage, which could continue, but it also could come back down very hard. Okay, so let me get this queued up for Facebook. Okay, Coke making a new high of the day. IWB making a new high on the day. Congratulations, Steve. Up 0.87% today with Steve's 530 SMA crossover. Let me put Facebook up here. Hey, and by the way, Steve posted over at Facebook, I'm sure he'll do it on Twitter, but his new book, Moving Averages 101, my very favorite book of Steve's of all time. This is the second edition, is now available on Kindle. I'll have to find a link and show that to you tomorrow. But Moving Averages 101, second edition, is available on Kindle. And Steve was kind enough to ask me to write the foreword for the book. So that's pretty cool. I've never written a foreword for the book, so I'm looking forward to getting that. But that book changed my life, everybody. And I think I think every trader should read that. All right, we have about 3 minutes. Steve bought Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs making a new high on the day. Coke making a new high. IWB. Apple wheat today down 26 cents. Amazon at that price. The crossover has not yet happened. One minute to go. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to make my move here. Okay, so I did buy Facebook. With this false breakout to the downside and V2. Under 50, over 50. Be nice if we could get some follow through tomorrow. Get the crossover. That would bring in some new buyers, I would imagine. All right, so let me take a look real quick, see where I bought everything. All right, so I bought SPY at 343.78, and I bought Facebook at 263.89. Okay, so SPY $343.78 for the new SPY trade. Is that right? 343.78, and Facebook 263.89. Right there. So that's it. So Goldman Sachs ended up near the high of the day, which I'm grateful for. One profit target. Coca-Cola hit 2 profit targets. Fantastic. SPY, we just talked about that. Q's 1 profit target. And gold had a strong day up, but I'm glad I had that good day trade on there. Okay, so listen, if you have any new changes for me today, entries, exit, if you could just put them in the live chat and I will get them all updated. Before I do, just real quick, I just want to remind everybody that I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach. I've had really good success with my clients. I teach a course, a one-on-one course, 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours for a total of 15 hours. I have studied one-on-one with some great traders and authors out there that you know of, like Stephen Burns, Kerry Lavorne, Larry Williams, Dr. Alexander Elder. And the course that I teach, I take everything that I've learned from these great traders and authors, and I combine it into one course. I teach you 5 different setups, the main 5 different setups that I use to trade. We talk about position sizing, adjusting for volatility, phasing out profits, getting out quickly when you're wrong, ultimate profit targets, all the stuff that you need to be able to put together a plan. And you need a plan for trading. So that's what I teach. So if you are interested in taking this course with me, it is $1,000, but I think it's well worth it. Frankly, I think it's worth a lot more than $1,000, honestly, for the time and the attention that you get and the content that you're going to be taught. So, if you're interested in taking this, reach out to me. You can send me an email. Email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter. But if you reach out to me, I'll reply and say, hey, thanks for saying hi. Let's set up a Skype call. The Skype call is free. It's not a sales call. I will never ask you and put you on the spot and ask you if you want to take the course. It's not that kind of call. I do not do that to people. I just want to learn more about you and your trading and your goals and what you're looking for. Then it's a good time for you to ask me about any questions you had about the course that I teach. I had a call last night, went really well, and I hope I answered all of his questions, and it was a good call. And it's always nice to meet people. But again, there's no sales pressure. I'll never ask you. So if you're interested, send me an email, send me a message on Twitter, and we'll get that Skype call set up. And then lastly, if you like today's podcast, if you find it helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button for me before you get out of here. It helps build the channel, helps keep the channel around. And if you could just take a half a second before you click out, I would appreciate it. Okay, this is the time that we update everything. Let's take a look. Steve. How am I going to do this? Okay, I'm going to do, what's the best way for me to do this? Oh, I know. Steve. $207.86, 1030. EMA and 1050 dual crossover. Oh, that's interesting. Which one are you going to key off of, Steve? And 1050 EMA. Okay. Good. Steve says, thanks, Greg, again for the epic forward. The new edition is the #2 bestseller in the new releases. Oh, nice. On Amazon Stock Market Investing, number 18 in the stock market category. Congratulations, Steve. Fantastic. Kamal says, I'm going to buy CNK. Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of do. The only thing that scares me is that $8 price, but I said that about Cody also. And Facebook. Okay, got you down there. Quad says, congrats, Steve. I'm looking forward to read it. You better read my foreword, Quad. I want to report back. Dan says, a must read for me. Frank says, so Steve, Goldman Sachs is at a double cross. Interesting. Yeah. Well, like we talk about, Frank, confluences of signals, and you know, this is a confluence of signals also when you have dual crossovers, but I haven't seen that happen for a while. Okay, yes, I've got Kamal in Facebook and CNK. Gary is also in Facebook. Okay. Johan is in Facebook and CNK. Dave and Quad still have Cody. Yas is in Facebook. Kamal says, good one, Johan. I like that setup. I got to admit, the only thing that scares me off is the price and the industry. But then again, I probably shouldn't be doing that, right? But mainly it's the price. But it's a nice false breakout here, followed by an under 30, over 30, rejection of the negative third ATR channel. Weekly, I don't see a whole lot that interests me, but that's pretty good, and it's a good risk to reward ratio, and it was up pretty strong today, and the volume really has picked up. Zach is in Goldman Sachs. All right, Zach, got you, bud. Brian says, Greg, I think you inadvertently erased positions on your board. It sure was. I'm sure it was your way of telling me to sell. No, it wasn't. I hadn't seen. If I remember correctly, I think I hadn't seen you for a while, and so I took them off. You know what I mean? Just to save room. I keep them up there if you're here, you know. But I don't think I'd seen you in a few days, and so I thought, well. And I kind of assumed you had sold them. So maybe I was wrong. But anyway, it's good to see you, Bri. Quad says, hey, Greg, out of Cody for a fantastic profit. Still hanging on to Chewy as well as Apple. I also entered Facebook today. Okay. And Quad got out of Cody. I don't blame you. So David is our final Cody person. What a trade. What a trade. Way to stick with that one, Quad. Okay, you've got Chewy, right? Quads and Chewy. Quads and Facebook. Johan says, haha, thought you'd enter CNK, Kamal. Kamal did enter CNK. Didn't he? Yeah. Oh, Gary's getting into the oil business. Exxon. Yeah, I had considered selling puts on Exxon down here, but I didn't. Oh, well. All right. So what is this? Is this a spread? What is this? Oh. Gary, November 20, $35 strike at 186. All right, so that's a bullish position, everybody. Gary bought calls on Exxon, 35.26, so it has to close above $35 before November 20th or by November 20th, and he paid $1.86. So he paid $186 per call. All right. Brian says, I'm not buying today, so you can erase any positions I currently have up on the board. I know it's hard to keep up with. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is kind of hard, Brian, sometimes, especially if I don't see people for a while, and then, you know what I mean? So thanks for understanding, bud. Okay, Frank is in Facebook. Okay. And Coca-Cola, I already have you in there, right? Yes. LVGO. Okay, got you there. And Apple. Yep, got you, Frank. I even made your color different. You're green here, so I know which one's which. Dan says, the thumbs up button is calling us. Oh, thank you, Dan. Yes, if you could, I would appreciate that. Definitely. Kamal says, good trading at Quad Racer. For sure. Kamal says, Johan, that CNK trade does look very similar to the Cody trade. I hope it is. Quad says, thank you, Kamal. You have been a great help with your scanner. I 100% agree. Steve Burns, I will exit with either cross under signal or a big bear candle. Okay. That makes sense. Garrison, congrats on the new book, Steve Burns. Indeed, for sure. Or indeed, let's hope it does the same as Cody. Fantastic at pointing that out to Kamal. Strong contender for the most beloved trader of the year. There you go. What a compliment, Kamal. I'll tell you, have you seen some of these trades from Kamal's scanner? I mean, obviously they're not all positive, but there have been some monsters. Some monsters. Johan, CNK Weekly looks tempting. Does it? I don't know. I don't really see anything on the weekly, to be honest with you. Oh, no. Yeah. Double bottom bullish divergence, but we have not made a double bottom. What interests me is all this volume that's come in here. Look, this is nothing, though. You know, with all this volume in here, people are making bets. The big bet was to the downside, but up 4% today, under 30, over 30. It does look a lot like Cody. Cody's going to be like the legend of this channel. Remember back in 2020 with Cody? Who knows? Maybe it'll be a $40 stock. We'll remember it when it was $2. Quad says, question for the group. I've been trying to find a way to create a custom scanner in stockcharts.com. Does anyone here use their scanner? I know how to get to it and run the basic scans. Shoot, I don't know. I can't help you out there, Quad, on that one. Maybe if somebody does use stock charts. David sold half. Okay, let's get that noted. Sell 1/2. Can I do a smiley face? I think I just did. There we go, David. Oh, I'm using the wrong tense. Sold half. And a smiley face. Fantastic. Hey, Quad, talking about scanners. Yeah, of course, it's nice to have scanners and so forth, but in lieu of not having a scanner, on your watch list, get as many stocks as you want to take a look at, 50, 100. And my advice, and it's not a bad idea, it's nice when a computer does it for it, but there's nothing wrong with just going. I mean, I go through my watch list every day, just one by one, just old school, right? And again, a trade should, if you have 100 things to go through, you're not going to get fixated on every little chart. Just let it jump off the screen at you. Like if it's a good trade, it will just jump off and grab you by the face and tell you that it's a good one. Problem is, we start looking at a trade, or if we have few too many charts to look at, we'll just spend a lot of time trying to mold it into maybe something it's not. So if you have a scanner, great. If you figure out how to have a scanner, great. But I would prefer, honestly, all of you to be your own scanner, to be able to just go down through a list of stocks, just go down through them fairly quickly, honestly, fairly quickly, so that you don't spend too much time and have to like try to put it together. It should just jump off the screen at you. Way to go, David. Fantastic. Brian says, Steve, congrats on your book. I look forward to reading it and, of course, reading the best part of the book, the foreword. Oh, I don't think that's the best part of the book. But thanks, Brian. Quad says, Greg, I'll be sure to read it cover by cover and let you know my feedback. Thank you. Kamal says, you are welcome, Kamal. Greg, criticism on Facebook and CNK. Oh, I got to do criticism? Well, I mean, obviously, I took Facebook here. Anything I criticize here is going to be criticizing my as well. But the only criticism would be this 50-day moving average right here above. But I'm not scared of it, because if it does go up and reject it, I will sell half of my position. So that doesn't really scare me. But I like it. I mean, on the monthly, we're in an uptrend. On the weekly, we're back down into the value zone. This is Dr. Elder triple screen situation. And then on the daily, you take your entry. Well, here's the entry. MACD's positive. There's the entry. And if it goes up tomorrow, we get a 520 cross. That will bring in other groups of buyers, which will help propel it potentially. I don't see a lot of criticism. The only thing is the 50, but I'm not scared of the 50, because if it rejects it, I'll just sell half. Now, CNK, a couple things. One, it's an $8 stock. Just that fact alone, I don't like. The other situation is that we have this big down bar here, Kamal. Big bar, larger than 1 ATR. We know very often if we get a big down bar, we'll have a rally back to the halfway point before we fail. Well, we're very close to that halfway of that 50% Fibonacci point. So that concerns me a little bit as well. So the price concerns me. This big down bar that we've rallied back up into but can't get above 50%, that concerns me. And then on the weekly, I don't see anything clear on the week. If this had rejected this -2 ATR channel, I'd like it better. If it rejected the 1 ATR channel, or if there was some kind of moving average it was hovering over. But this is just kind of out there in no man's land. So that's my honest opinion. Steve says, thanks, Gary and Brian. Kamal says, Quad Racer, I run an under over 30 RSI scan on TradingView. Oh, nice. Oh, yes, I know that because I get it every day. I'd mixed up the names there. Okay. Frank says, this group just keeps getting better and better. Oh, thank you, Frank. Appreciate that. You're a big part of it, that's for sure. Quad says, I did not take CNK because the current state of the movie theater as a whole seems pretty dire. Not many big new releases coming anytime soon, and most people are shying away from theaters right now. Yeah. Okay. Frank says, I trade lighter as the days grow shorter and the shadows grow longer. Wow, that's pretty good. You know Frank's a writer when he writes a sentence like that. I trade lighter as the days grow shorter and the shadows grow longer. That's good stuff. Zach says, Kamal, I use TV. Is it possible to get the code for the scan? TV, TradingView. Zach, there is no code. I just set it up on their market scanner tab. Hey, when you put the @ sign before everyone's name, why does everyone do that? Sorry, I'm like an old guy. Like, I understand @ signs, but why do you put like @Kamal? Does it do something on his end or something so he gets a message? Or am I just making this up? Or is it like a question that I shouldn't even ask? Sorry, I'm technically challenged. So Kamal says there is no code. It's just you just set it up on their scanner tab. So Gary says, Gary M, so you don't have to type the name. Oh. Oh. So if I put @ oh, I got it. Thank you. I learned something. That makes a lot of sense. All right, what's going on in after hours here? Oh, Facebook's down 26 cents. Boo. But it does have a 44-cent spread. Goldman Sachs is even. Coca-Cola is down 2 cents. The SPY is down 10 cents. 1 cent, excuse me. Apple is up 5 cents. Oh, you know what? I forgot this trade too. I have a double trade on SPY. I had the 1050 EMA crossover. Sorry, I missed this one. I bought this here at 332.82 with the 1050, and it's at 10. What is this? 333.82. Now it's 343.73 and did hit one profit target. Sorry, I forgot that trade. And Dan and Brian are in that as well. Very nice. Very nice. Sorry. You know, whenever we start having a lot of crossover trades, it's harder for me to keep these up because there's all these different charts, all the different, you know, combinations of trades, and they can be some good trades, but from the back office standpoint, they're a little tough. Thank you, Ahmad. Yep, I totally get it now. I've never typed in a live stream or had done that, so now it makes sense. Gary says, have a great afternoon, everyone. See you all tomorrow. Thank you, Gary. Good seeing you, my friend. Good luck on your Exxon calls. All right. Well, I'm going to head out. I'm going to take a walk up in the mountains, listen to my samba music playlist that I'm really digging. And so listen, have a good rest of your day. You know the routine, right? Please go out, do something nice for somebody today. Just a smile, a wave, a hello, nice little gesture. Give somebody a hand. They're going to appreciate it, and it's going to be good. It's good mentally for you to do that. You'll walk away from that being happy that you helped someone out. And if you could also help an animal out today, that would be fantastic. Just give them a little treat, throw the ball for them, take them on a walk, give them a little scratch between the ear, help one out if you see one in need. That would be great as well, right? So that's pretty much it. Other than, if you're interested in lessons, contact me. If you like today's podcast, hit the thumbs up button. But looks like we had some really good trades all the way around, and very grateful when we have green days. So thanks, Johan. Fly safe if you're out there flying, huh? So thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day, all right? We'll talk to you later. Bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.